Slack is a transformative platform that boosts employee productivity and collaboration. Let's learn how Slack has helped drive exponential business growth for Rochester Electronics. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by Kamila Kaidarov, Slack Senior Director of Product Marketing, and Colin Struther, EVP of Rochester Electronics. Thank you all so much for joining us. Colin, really quickly, what does Rochester Electronics do in about a sentence or so, but what led RE to implement Slack?
Okay, so we're the world's largest distributor of electronic components, and implementing Slack was a little bit of a leap of faith. I was at Dreamfest, met a couple of guys, asked them why they were there, and they said Slack. And they told me it absolutely revolutionized their workday. So I started to investigate it, and we took a little leap of faith, not blind faith, and that's where we're at.
I'm absolutely going to take Colin everywhere from now on because he's just going to be our poster child.
I know, that's an incredible, it revolutionized their experience. You took this blind leap of faith. So now how has Slack helped your business since implementing Slack?
You know, I travel a lot, Kari, and you know, you're in Asia, you maybe want to go to sleep at 10, 11 at night in Singapore. I work on the East Coast. So my work day on the East Coast is up and running. So I was literally drowning in emails, hundreds, and you'd wake up to them and you just couldn't get on top of them. So with Slack, it's really just turbocharged everything. And it's hard to kind of explain, but it's the simplicity of it, right? Where even, you know, someone sends you an email and you're not sure whether you actually have to read it because you're copied or you have an action. And then to reply, you have to put in a lot of, you know, surrounding information.
And heaven forbid you reply and someone replies at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole string goes on, right? And then with Slack, it's as simple as replying with an emoji. Eyeballs, you've seen it. And then you can save it and go back to review it later, and you can select what channels you want to be copied on or notified on and stuff like that. It really just changed everything. So I used to get 400 or 500 emails a day. Now, checking emails is one of the last things I do.
That's incredible. And you know what? Shout out to emojis, because to your point, like, you just putting those eyeball emojis indicated, hey, I'm on it, I see it, we're good. And I'm going to work on that. I don't need to constantly ping about that.
I don't know if you guys have deployed this yet, but the really cool thing is you can actually do entire workflows based off an emoji.
Really?
So, yeah. So one of the things that our M&A team did is for their kind of process channels, you can ask for an update, or you can react to a post with the emoji of a logo, and then you get an automated message with where the status is, all the latest updates for that, and a single emoji can give you information that you didn't even know, or give you, kick off a process, an approval process.
Well, something slightly off script that gives me pleasure in Slack on a daily basis is I have a custom emoji. That's my dog, Archie. And he starts with his head to one side, he twists his head, and his ear goes up and then down. So that is my default emoji in Slack. So every time I'm replying on that, it's making me smile. Hopefully it's making someone else smile too.
This content has just become a Slack stan segment where all we talk about is how much we love emojis.
Basically.
Let's talk about, though, Agentforce, because Colin, you're an early adopter of Agentforce. Already have a customer-facing agent. Tell us, why did it make sense to now deploy agents in Slack for you?
Yeah. This might sound really basic, but we're having a conversation here. I'm talking in a natural language, and you're replying in natural language. And any time in my personal life where I maybe have an issue or I make a phone call or do something, you're expecting the person on the other end of the phone to kind of understand it. Oh, it's Colin on the phone and he's looking for this. But that's not really reality, right? So I think everyone wants to kind of be heard and understood. And just, from a Slack perspective, and our first agent, was a Q&A kind of bot. But you then have to think of all of the questions that might get asked, and then there's a kind of canned response. So, deploying the agent as well, I think what it does to me, and I'm learning about it, right? I'm trying to understand agentic versus generative, but it brings context to content, and it brings personalization to the user. So, we're a B2B company, and I know you have the B2B, B2C. I really kind of don't subscribe to either. I kind of want to be P2P. because within companies, it's just people. It's just
Yeah.
us doing our job, right? Our
And none of us want to scream representative into a phone.
No, or do not reply to this message.
Right.
Well, where does that leave me?
Right.
So,
No, I like that a lot. You don't have to. We kind of bring the anthropomorphic element to agents, but it really is like talking to a teammate because you don't have to formulate the response. You don't have to formulate the prompts.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about, oh, I can use this word, I can't. It's going to understand the bot's been programmed the right way or it hasn't. When you're deploying those agents, you're just deploying another person that's part of the team.
That's right. And it feels that way.
Yeah.
And Camila, on that point, why is Agentforce in Slack like the most efficient way for companies to deploy agents?
So not only all right, let me take a step back. You can build an Agentforce agent in the Salesforce builder. So what you're used to doing with the point and click, all of that, same process here. But then you can say, all right, I'm going to send that agent to Slack. And in Slack, then you all have, all of a sudden, all of the agents that are available to you, which means there is no learning curve because it is adding just another teammate to the group. And so if you're saying, well, I can message Carrie on Slack and I can say, whatever I need, or here's the changes to the script for the broadcast, whatever it is. I can do that exact same thing with my agent. There's no learning curve. There's not, okay, I need to remember how to prompt this in. I need to remember how to trigger that. I need to make sure I say X, Y, and Z. It's simple, right?
Yeah.
The whole ethos of Slack has always been about making work life more simple, more human, more pleasant. And Agentforce fits right into that ethos.
I'm just thinking of all the onboarding efficiencies and things like that you just mentioned. Colin, businesses are all in different places when it comes to their AI journey. I'd love to know what kind of advice you might have when it comes to employee adoption and integrating AI into, say, daily workflows.
The two of the biggest challenges that I encountered driving towards the customer 360 with Salesforce and then adding on the engagement layer with Slack was the data and change management. And even if we've got a bad process or a tool that's clunky, if people are familiar with it, they kind of sometimes like to keep using it and then complain about it, right? so it's really, really careful to try and get the buy-in and start as you mean to go on. So we were very, very disciplined in terms of how we set it up, how we rolled it out, when to create a channel, when to reply in thread. Once we got that up and running, we would have a lot of usage analytics and we'd have global huddles, for example, where people could ask questions, right? But one last thing that we did, which was fun, to make people comfortable, that the agent's not replacing anybody's job. We have a company superhero called Captain Rochester, like Salesforce have Astro and Muley. Now, this was a few years ago. We had YouTube videos, we had comics and playing cards, and he fought anti-counterfeiting, authorized source supply, semiconductors. So we retired Captain Rochester, but we brought him back. Captain, C-A-P-T-A-I-N. So he's the industry's first AI superhero. Now, everybody at Rochester loves Captain Rochester, so therefore they love Captain Rochester, the AI agent.
I love that anecdote, and I really appreciate the vision and the forward thinking that you've shared with us today. Thank you, Colin and Camila, for your insights. To explore how Salesforce uses Agentforce in Slack as a customer zero, scan the QR code on your screen.